Hi, welcome to Teacher May channel. I'm happy to see you here again. And this time, I would love to share about, in the title below that, why is it important to study English? But before that, I'm gonna tell you a story. It's my own experience. I'm gonna make the story short for us to dig deeper to topic that we have today. And it connects to what we're going to learn today. It was my first time traveling abroad, and this country is non-native English speaking country, and that means like English is their second language. And when I arrived there, I approached someone, but that person, he couldn't, speak in English, and he just, communicated to me in a way like, no, that means like he couldn't understand and speak English to me, and that's why I just find my way to get through where like the directions and observe the people where they going. I found two boys there that I thought they could help me in my directions to get out from that airport, but sadly they weren't able to do that because they couldn't speak English too. It happened that I realized that time, especially when traveling, it is very important that you could communicate in English, and also like people should, learn and speak English. So now let's go to the 10 factors why we have to learn English and why is it important for us to study English. Now, first one is English is a global language. This means that it has been used by many people in the world as a first language, like the English-speaking people, namely American, Canadian, Australian, and many more. Also as a second language, like us people, particularly in Asia, Indonesian, Filipino, Thai, Korean, so that's a part of they're using English as their second language. And as a foreign language, those people who want to learn more for an enjoyment, and those who just learn language for the sake of the English language, like we call them also polyglots. So that's why English is a global language and we need to learn on it. Okay, the second factor is universal language. So majority of people can understand and speak English all around the world. So the most spoken language in the world, including native and non-native speakers. Like you and me, I am a non-native speaker. I can speak English, but this is not my first language. I talk in English and I can communicate information to you and you understand me, that connection through the use of the English language, and that's why it is very important. Now this also points to number 3 is language of the internet. As I also shared my second video here in my channel, that I mentioned we are now in advanced technology, and because of that, like internet, through the language that we're using, the language of the internet are also from the directions to the journals to the medical to any sciences, politicians, or any kind of subjects, informations that we can take. It is in the language of English, and it is widely used English in the internet. So that's the factor also that you can understand and explore yourself through the internet world. Now number 4 is boosts confidence. What does it mean? So as a Filipino, in my perspective, whenever I heard and see someone who speaks English, I feel so proud of them. Like in vice versa situation also, like even in my family who hear me speaking English, they say, wow, oh, and like I can feel that they're proud of me, and especially like I can also feel that they trust and depends on me whenever I give some of my decisions, like especially my sister. She always wanted me to to guide her in her assignments. And back in my college days or my school days, all my classmates would applaud and they're happy in my presentation, recitation whenever I speak English, and listen to me very well whenever I speak. So it really boosted my confidence to speak my thoughts in English. So it happens when people really love seeing you speaking. That reason because I can speak English. So number 5 is English makes it easier to travel. As what my experience at the beginning of this video, that it was difficult for me to communicate with the people in that country because of they weren't able to speak English. And so this factor is really part of the importance why we study English, because it helps or supports us to make communication easier when we travel. So as my experience around Asia, I need to speak English in order to be understood by a foreign or native people. It is the English communication that can help me or enjoy the travel, and and also I can explore many things and I can enjoy many things. And this follows. Number 6 is cultural understanding. So many things like to discover from other people cultures, like through your engagement with foreigners, you will gain a lot of information, right? And it is much easier to understand their nature and their values. Like for example, you have a friend, like a Korean friend, you can ask him some of their cultural beliefs. That he can also ask you information about the culture. So it's a kind of like a communication, and you're able to know each other's culture because of or you're speaking English. You understand both English, though it's your second language, right? So that's how the English linked your differences in your culture and be able to understand each other. The 7th factor is study English online. So in my experience teaching English to foreign, I would love to share that it is kind of like a difficult one. It is difficult to teach those who couldn't really communicate even basic one, because I have this really beginner students that they were able to communicate, like they're just silent and just listen to me while I was teaching them. So that's also part, like in vice versa situation, I felt that my students put so hard on themselves to understand me. I had difficulty understanding them, and they also they put themselves hard to understand this while what I'm speaking, right? And the fact that they are adults. So mostly of my students were adults. So that's why I realized that educating and learning English at an early age is so vital. To step up the study, particularly online English learning, is now widely used and accessible, right, online. So studying English online is the 7th factor. Now, there's the 8th factor, career booster. So this means that having your dream job, especially your target is abroad or international, English is necessary. As my students told me that they are learning English because they have opportunities to work abroad and even take many English exams such as the TOEFL, the IELTS, the TOEIC tests, and many more. They're able to work abroad and they get promoted if they pass, as they told me that. So that's the important part also. So this point also followed by number 9 factor, the career opportunities. So there are many students of mine who want to shift and change another job. And those students who are fluent enough in English, they are more enthusiastic to work on more jobs. Compared to others whom I've seen, they're still having difficulty in communication. They felt hesitant to shift another jobs and limit themselves to work. So that's why they have this limitation of their opportunities in their career. And that connects to number 10 factor, increase of employability. That means as I can see enough, like in majority of jobs, requires English communication. Do you agree? It is important that you are proficient, that you're able to speak up in English. And this factor also points out on my experience. I landed on my first job. I was able to be accepted by two companies within a year. And just the same type of job, like an ESL job, like teaching English. As I can see, like exams and interviews were in English. But because I can speak English and understand English very well, maybe I'm confident enough to do that. So I achieved those goals and jobs, and I was accepted. So yeah, those are the 10 factors why we have to study and why it is really important to study English. So this time, I have a short message of inspiration. If you're a beginner and still having difficulty to learn English language, you are never alone. Remember that. Just don't put yourself too hard or too much, because I can see some of my students, they're just pushing themselves hard. I don't want to see those students of mine like that. I really encourage them not to do that, right? Just enjoy themselves in learning English, because there are many ways you can achieve. Just don't give yourself, or just don't give yourself so hard, and just enjoy it, all right? And just reward yourself, of course. It has many things to learn in life, and the English also is your goal to reach out. But if you are in intermediate or an advanced learning English, grab those opportunities as you can. I realized this, that there are a lot of opportunities when I was able to, to show myself and be confident in English. And I know that you too can have a lot of opportunities, and you will be landed in your, dream jobs or your favorite jobs, gain success. Okay, remember, you found yourself on many failures. Yeah, that's what I experienced. I got a lot of many failures, but only a certain step up to gain success if you move forward. So I believe in you. You can do it. Aja aja. Okay, hope that you have a lot of learning here, and please subscribe to see you next time. Bye.